The rain had just stopped when Ethan Parker stepped off the city bus, his worn backpack hanging from one shoulder. At 32, life had taught him to expect very little. Every morning he left his tiny apartment before sunrise, worked long shifts delivering packages, and returned home exhausted. Yet there was one thing he never stopped believing in: kindness. Most people in the city rushed past one another without making eye contact. They were too busy, too stressed, or simply too tired to care. Ethan understood. Life wasn't easy for anyone. But he also believed that a single act of kindness could change someone's entire day. He had no idea that belief was about to change countless lives. As Ethan walked toward the subway station, he noticed an elderly woman struggling with 2 heavy grocery bags. Cars splashed muddy water onto the sidewalk while dozens of people walked around her without stopping. "Excuse me, ma'am," Ethan said with a warm smile. "May I help you?" The woman looked surprised. "Oh dear, you don't have to. I'd be happy to." He carried her groceries 3 blocks to her apartment building. Before leaving, she reached into her purse and offered him $20. Ethan gently shook his head. "I can't take your money. But you helped me. Then promise me something instead." "What is it?" "The next time you see someone who needs help, help them if you can." The old woman smiled through watery eyes. "I promise." Neither of them noticed a young college student watching everything from across the street. That student, Mia, pulled out her phone and secretly recorded the final few seconds of their conversation. She uploaded the short clip with a simple caption. "A stranger refused money and asked for kindness instead." She expected maybe a few hundred views. She was wrong. The next morning Ethan knew nothing about the video. He was delivering packages as usual when he entered a busy office building. Inside, a janitor accidentally dropped a bucket of water, spilling it across the polished floor. People complained. Some rolled their eyes. Others walked away. Without hesitation Ethan put down his delivery box, grabbed a mop, and helped clean the mess. "It's okay," he told the embarrassed janitor. "Accidents happen." The janitor sighed with relief. "Thank you. Most people pretend they don't see me. I see you." Those 3 words meant more than Ethan realized. A young marketing executive standing nearby witnessed everything. Later that afternoon she bought lunch for the janitor and thanked him for keeping the building clean. The janitor smiled for the first time in weeks. Meanwhile, Mia's video exploded across social media. 1,000 views, 10,000, 100,000. Within 48 hours millions of people had watched it. People started sharing stories of strangers helping strangers. Someone in Chicago paid for a family's groceries. A teenager in London spent his weekend cleaning a neglected park. A taxi driver in New York gave free rides to elderly passengers. Each post carried the same phrase. #KindnessWave. No one knew where Ethan was. His face was blurry. His name was missing. He remained an ordinary delivery driver completely unaware that he had inspired a movement. Late Friday afternoon Ethan entered a small neighborhood cafe. Only one cashier was working, and the line stretched almost to the door. Customers grew impatient. One businessman slammed his coffee cup onto the counter. "This is ridiculous." The young cashier looked overwhelmed. "I'm sorry, sir. My coworker called in sick." Ethan stepped out of line. He spoke calmly to the angry customers. "She's doing her best. Let's give her a little patience." The room became quiet. One by one the complaints stopped. An elderly man even joked, "Well, I guess I can survive waiting another 5 minutes." Laughter spread through the cafe. The tension disappeared. When Ethan finally reached the register, he paid for the next customer's drink before quietly leaving. The woman behind him looked shocked. She smiled. Then she paid for the customer behind her. That customer paid for another. By noon, more than 60 people had received free coffee. The cafe owner couldn't believe what had happened. He placed a handwritten sign near the register. "Welcome to the Kindness Wave." Across town, a local journalist heard about the cafe chain of generosity. She interviewed customers, employees, and the owner. Everyone described the same mystery man. Average height, simple clothes, friendly smile. No one knew his name. Her story aired during the evening news. Viewers were deeply moved. Schools began organizing kindness challenges. Companies encouraged employees to perform one good deed every day. Even police officers joined the movement by helping stranded drivers without expecting anything in return. The city slowly began to change. Saturday morning Ethan visited the public library. He loved reading during his days off. As he searched for a history book, he noticed a young boy sitting alone. The boy looked frustrated. His notebook was filled with crossed-out math problems. Ethan smiled. "Need a little help? My test is Monday. Math giving you trouble?" The boy nodded. For the next hour Ethan patiently explained fractions and equations. Little by little the boy began solving each problem by himself. "I did it," he shouted happily. "You sure did." His mother returned just then. She had been working remotely in another section of the library. When she discovered what Ethan had done, tears filled her eyes. "I can't afford a tutor. You don't need to thank me. You gave my son confidence." Ethan simply smiled. One day he'll help someone else. The mother promised he would. As Ethan walked away, another library visitor quietly watched the entire interaction. She smiled. Maybe kindness really was contagious. Ethan left the library with his borrowed book, completely unaware that another chapter of the growing kindness wave had just begun. Far away, millions of people continued sharing stories inspired by one anonymous stranger. And somewhere among them, a powerful business leader watching the evening news became curious. She made one decision that would soon bring Ethan's quiet life into the spotlight, and change his future forever. Monday morning arrived like any other, but the city no longer felt the same. People smiled a little more. Drivers paused to let pedestrians cross. Coffee shops displayed handwritten notes encouraging customers to pass the kindness on. The movement had become bigger than anyone imagined. Yet Ethan Parker still had no idea that he was at the center of it all. He woke before sunrise, grabbed his old backpack, and headed out for another day of package deliveries. His phone was outdated, and he rarely used social media. To him, life was simple: work hard, treat people with respect, and expect nothing in return. As he entered his first delivery location, the receptionist greeted him with an unusually cheerful smile. "Good morning. I hope you have a wonderful day." Ethan smiled back. "Thank you. I hope you do too." She placed a small chocolate bar beside his delivery receipt. "For you. You didn't have to. I wanted to." Ethan thanked her, never realizing she had recently watched dozens of kindness wave videos online. Across the city, powerful businesswoman Victoria Hayes sat in the top floor of Hayes Global headquarters. For days she had been following news reports about the mysterious stranger inspiring millions of people. Every interview ended the same way. No one knows who he is. Victoria wasn't interested in viral fame. She wanted to understand why one ordinary man could inspire more loyalty than billion-dollar advertising campaigns. "Find him," she told her executive assistant. "I want to meet him." Within hours, a private research team began reviewing security footage from the cafe, library, office building, and bus station. Piece by piece, Ethan's trail came together. Meanwhile, Ethan received an unexpected assignment. One of his coworkers had called in sick, leaving several extra deliveries. "You can say no," his manager said. Ethan looked at the overflowing cart. "I'll do it." It meant working 3 extra hours. He never complained. Near lunchtime, Ethan noticed a construction worker sitting alone on a curb. The man's lunchbox was empty. "You okay?" Ethan asked. The worker forced a smile. "I forgot my wallet this morning." Without hesitation, Ethan walked into a nearby sandwich shop. He returned carrying 2 meals. "Let's eat together." The worker tried to hand him money. Ethan refused. "Just help someone else when you get the chance." The construction worker nodded silently. Later that afternoon, he paid for a stranger's bus ticket. The wave continued. At Hayes Global headquarters, Victoria finally watched the complete security footage. No speeches. No cameras. No attention-seeking. Just quiet acts of kindness repeated again and again. She leaned back in her chair. "Incredible." One executive laughed. "He's just a delivery driver." Victoria looked directly at him. "No, he's a leader." The room fell silent. That evening, Ethan boarded a crowded subway train. Every seat was taken. An exhausted nurse stepped inside after a 12-hour shift. Without hesitation, Ethan stood. "Please, take my seat." The nurse hesitated. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely." Several passengers noticed. A teenage boy stood and offered his seat to an elderly man. Another passenger helped a mother lift her stroller. Within seconds, the entire train felt different. People began talking instead of staring at their phones. Someone joked that kindness was spreading faster than the subway itself. Everyone laughed. The next morning, Victoria made a surprising announcement. Hayes Global would launch a citywide volunteer initiative. Every employee would receive one paid day each month dedicated entirely to community service. Board members were shocked. That's expensive. Victoria smiled. So is replacing employees who don't care. She understood something many corporations had forgotten. People stayed loyal where they felt valued. And kindness created value that money alone never could. Later that afternoon, Ethan arrived at Hayes Global for a routine delivery. He expected to spend less than 2 minutes inside. Instead, the receptionist smiled. "Mr. Parker, yes, the CEO would like to meet you." Ethan looked confused. "Me? Yes." He checked behind him, wondering if there was another Parker. "There isn't." She laughed. "She's expecting you." Moments later, the elevator doors opened onto the executive floor. Everything looked polished and expensive. Employees whispered as Ethan walked past. "That's him. I think they finally found him." Ethan became even more confused. What are they talking about? Finally, he entered Victoria's office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Victoria stood and extended her hand. "Thank you for coming. I didn't really have a choice," Ethan joked nervously. She smiled. "I've been looking for you." "For me?" Victoria pressed a button on her remote. A giant screen lit up. Hundreds of videos began playing. People helping strangers. Free meals. Acts of generosity. Community cleanups. School charity events. Hospital donations. Millions of smiles. Each video carried the same hashtag. #KindnessWave. Ethan stared silently. "What is this?" Victoria looked at him. "This started with you." Ethan shook his head. "No, I only helped a few people. You helped one. They helped another. And another. And another." She pointed toward the screen. "Now millions are doing the same." For the first time in years, Ethan couldn't find any words. He wasn't proud. He wasn't excited. He was simply overwhelmed. "I never wanted recognition." Victoria smiled gently. "That's exactly why you deserve it." She offered him something unexpected. "I'd like you to help lead our new community initiative." Ethan looked down. "I'm not a businessman. I'm just a delivery driver." Victoria replied with a smile that carried complete confidence. "No, Ethan, you're proof that one ordinary person can change the world." Ethan looked out the window at the busy streets below. Somewhere down there, strangers were still helping strangers. Not because they had to. Because they wanted to. The kindness wave was no longer just a hashtag. It had become hope. And Ethan realized that this was only the beginning.